Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube page and my YouTube Live. I'm assuming that since you've come on, you expect me to do what I usually do, and that's exactly what I'm going to do as I share with you my outrage at human ambiguity. Human ambiguity. The uh, My goodness, I thought that I had lived long enough that I had experienced mostly everything, and that let me adjust my camera here, and that I would never live to be able to say I'm ashamed of being mentioned as a part of the human species. To be a human being today is embarrassing because I am seeing things that even though I was born before World War II ended, I am seeing things now which, when I watched the old World War II films, I thought that that was horrible. But to watch this in living whatever is horrendous, heartbreaking. It is one of the most devastating things that I've ever seen in my life. If you are alive during this date and time, and let me give the date for this, and so that we won't be mistaken what we're looking at, because things are happening so quick. This is Thursday, the 16th of November in the year 2023. I am in Los Angeles, California, in the United States of America. And I am witnessing through a network that doesn't broadcast from this country, but that broadcasts from another country, world news. And I don't know whether you guys have been looking at the world news. That's why I thought that I would call this series Human Ambiguity, because there is just so much going on right now that I think we need to give the proper explanation. Not like, all right, let me start with that which I'm familiar with. I am, and I want to say hello to Mark. Thanks for coming on, man. Good to see you. I am at my wits' end on what to do about the ambiguity of human beings. I'm watching this overseas news station broadcast in real time right now because of the internet. Thank God we have the internet. Thank God for YouTube. Um, want you to feel an old man's anguish. Human ambiguity. The largest hospital in Gaza has been taken over by the security forces of Israel, and the reports coming out, because it's ambiguous reports coming out. The reports coming out by the Israeli government and our government is that they found a whole bunch of terrorist stuff in some of the rooms in the basement, and this was a okay. Let's say they did, because I know that if you're a part of an army or a group, you're going to store your bullets and guns wherever you want to. I doubt seriously if this is just my opinion. I doubt seriously if any national people would put the armory. This just doesn't make sense to me. Why they would put an arsenal of weapons in a place where they know that their own people would come to in order to seek safety and healing. Why would they put that armory there? It would mean that if an intelligence force did find an armory, that they would hurt the civilians to get it. I don't think that any sane group of people would do that. And I don't think that the Palestinians are insane, nor do uh, think that I'm insane. I know better. But human ambiguity. And I'm not, because, hey, you know me, PJ. I'm going to talk about human ambiguity. You know what I did yesterday? I had the grand opportunity to talk with two men, both African American. They were members of the congregation of the church that I pastored. One was a member of mine when I was at the old vet at 976 East Jefferson in Los Angeles, which the building doesn't even exist there anymore. And the other one uh, joined with me after I had gotten removed from the vet. But anyhow, um, I was just looking in my phone book and I thought that I called my old friend. And granted, he was happy to hear from me. We spoke for well over 4 hours. And I want to share with you how God works, because as me and this other guy were talking about our relationship over the years, both of our families and everything, and we haven't seen each other. We haven't seen each other uh, in years. And we're talking just the way we did when I was his pastor in the church. And lo and behold, a second guy that is acquaintances of us both called while I was on the call with Greg. I'll just give the first name, Greg. Anthony called. Okay, Tony called. And Greg said, guess who? You would never guess who I have on the line. And of course, I started talking and we started to talk. And the strangest thing happened. Talking about human ambiguity, that's one of the reasons why I had an inkling to do this live, because here's two African American men that knew me. I love them. I love both of their families. Both of them have children and wives. Uh, uh, and I have been in their homes. I know their loved ones. I was, as a pastor is supposed to be to the people that he loves. He That's what I did. That's what I am. That's what I do. I'm speaking with these men. And as we converse, of course, we spoke about my leaving, some of the reasons why I had to leave. And we began to share, because I said, hey, look, let's be real. Let's talk real. Don't call me PJ Pastor John. I'm John. I'm John Coleman. You're this, you're Greg, and you're Tony. All right? And I use feisty language. I spoke with him. I said, I'm not going to talk to you like no damn pastor, because I'm not your pastor uh, anymore. And I said, I want to ask you some questions. I want to ask you some real serious questions. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did people do this way? Why are people not talking with me? Why? I asked them both. Why didn't? Why has it been all these years and why haven't you contacted me? Tell me, why haven't you contacted me? And I thought about the title of this as I was talking with them, and I had my earplugs in my ear. So I was walking around the house doing what I usually do around the house and here in my office. And we spoke for well over 4 hours. And the ambiguity at the end of the conversation, this is what I picked up. At the end of the conversation, I guess I am a non believer. I will never be forgiven by God for having betrayed God and betrayed and all these things. And I'm thinking about this, listening to these guys. And I said, I was your teacher. And they both admitted and said, you are the greatest Bible teacher we've ever had. They both said, we admit there's no teacher like you. You know that Bible and you taught it. Why did you stray from it? And I said, I'm glad you asked me that question because now I have a chance to tell you why. I said, since I left the pastorate, since I declined to do that anymore, it opened my mind and my heart to investigate my own faith. Come to find out that most of the administrative stuff that the Christian church does now, excuse my French, is bullshit. It's a crock of bullshit. Now, my two friends also know because I told them to watch my YouTube live. I said, watch me, I'll do a live. And I had nothing else to do today. Oh my God, I'm watching them pull children out of this hospital that was bombed. Why would you bomb a hospital? Even if your enemy's chief of staff was under there, why would you bomb a hospital? Human ambiguity. I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. If I had, it comes down to this because my two friends knew that I was their pastor in the church. They know that I love them. They know that I would never lie to them. I never tell them anything wrong. But because of who I was born to be and who I was forced to hide out and to live incognito, I couldn't tell my congregation that their pastor was a gay man because of the gay stigma that was against a man or a woman being gay. Is still to this date horrific. I was speaking with a young man not too long ago, and I was saying, how does your family feel about this? And he said, my family are living in the Stone Ages. They cannot have an intelligent discussion about who I am. I'm telling my friends, this is who I am. Now, wait a minute. This was a good part of the conversation coming up because I asked him, I said, while I was your pastor in the church, and I'm glad I had them both on the line, and they can watch this and they can contradict me all they want to. I had the conversation. I don't record conversations because I hear it's illegal to do that. And so I said, did I ever uh, have a homosexual act with anyone? Did I ever grope, touch, uh, uh, communicate to anyone in private or in a group that I wanted to be with them in a sexual way like that? What I love about these two men, and I almost start crying over the phone when I was speaking with them, is that they will tell the truth when it comes to what I've done or what they've seen me do. Because if I did anything sexually or anything like that, trust me, I would never do it uh, in the company of or around church people. And I did divulge some information to these two gentlemen about other things that went on in my ministry because I don't care about anybody hearing about me. Talking about, well, we can bring a charge years after you. No, I'm not a Catholic priest. I'm not protected by an archdiocese. You chose it. You know what? I never told anybody, I never gave an invitation, especially later on in ministry, of anybody to join the church that I pastored. I never said, will you come? Will you come and join us? I never did that. I would say, why would you do that? I'm just a depraved heathen just like you are. Why would you come and place your life under me? That was a bogus attempt that Christianity did when they tell you that a shepherd can guard someone's soul. Shepherd can't guard, he can't even guard his own damn soul. I thought through it. I never taught that. I never told people, come and sit under my tutelage and I'm going to guide whether you go into heaven or hell. Never told them that. That's a damnable lie. No pastor can tell you that. I see people on the news every day. One man said, he said, he's in the hospital and he said, the only person we can cry out to is God. That is what I've always believed. I've always believed that there's one God, and that one God is for everybody on this planet. And I saw a man on the news say, we can't, the world people not helping us. All I can do is cry out to God. He's right. He's right. And when I pastored, I told those people, don't you put your trust in man because he's ambiguous. He's going to drop the ball every time. He's going to let you down. I recall, when Nelson Mandela, see, he was locked up in prison, right? He was locked up in prison, correct? All right, he was locked up in prison. And we know how that country was run down there. We know what the minority of people was doing to the majority of people that were there. We know what was going on. The world screamed against it, railed against it, and after much pressure, it went away. And those people are governing themselves. Hopefully, the governing, because I don't know what democracy looks like anymore. We're supposed to be a democracy, and we can't even go to a football game in the stadium and all say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, because what flag? I got the Juneteenth flag and the LGBT flag flying in front of my house. How come I don't have, Star Spangled Banner? Why don't I have that banner flying? Because I don't want to send the wrong idea. When you see my Juneteenth flag, that means I am loyal to Black people that whose ancestors were brought over here on a wooden ship, packed like sardines, eating each other's waste. That's where my ancestors were brought to this country. All right? And when I see the status that we're in now after all that time, it's problematic. It shows some ambiguity. That's what it does. Yeah. Wait a minute. I don't know who this is. Somebody's going to. I won't answer this. I always get calls, and I won't answer that. I'll answer that. See, I get a lot of calls. I ain't playing. I get calls. Don't think that because I'm 79, people don't bing me. They bing me. They want to talk. And I would say if I was talking with them, the world is full of ambiguity. Now, let me get back to the point. The point is, with Nelson Mandela and apartheid and all that going on over there, our country here and the other so-called democratic countries of the Mediterranean concave and Europe and all of that, and even now we got it was the old USSR as Russia. Everybody else is saying, "Yep, they know what that is." And remember, I was born right at the close of World War II, so I know I know what that looks like. One of my young friends asked me, why are you always looking at these black and white World War II films on YouTube? You know, when the Russians rushed in to take Berlin, and what was the relationship between the Field Marshal Montgomery of Britain and the Eighth Army commander and George Patton and Eisenhower. Why do I look at those films? Because uh, it talks about history. There's a reason. Eisenhower said, I don't want no damn human ambiguity here. Bring some cameramen here and take pictures of this stuff. Because if we told them it happened 50 years from now, the babies are going to say that couldn't have taken place. That could not have taken place. That's why I watch those films. And when I watch those films that were indicative of the lives some of those people were living when I was living, most of them because they're older than me. Practically all those people that was in the concentration camps are dead, maybe for a handful of people because of age. I would have never thought that I would be alive. Listen to this old man. I would never thought that I would be alive to see what I'm seeing and to not see or hear the democratic countries of the world and the leading countries of the world holler out foul. And you know what? I'm looking at some of the videos that these people set up to try to show that they had everything in that hospital like that. If I was a part of a terrorist group, you should see my desk the way it looks here. My desk is filthy up here. And they had that thing where they're showing where their enemy, so-called, was making their plans. It's too neat. It doesn't make sense to my mind. You're trying to use the media and everything. It's a lie. But you know who they can put in that lie? These young adults, these young people, because they all video game. They got a damn control switch in their hand and everything, and they say, yeah, that looks like my desk, you idiot. And if I were, I'm just talking about human ambiguity. If I were a medical doctor and if I knew a medical doctor, I would have at least spoken with him and say, from any country, and I said, would you have a terrorist organization knowingly in the basement of your hospital or in a room in your hospital, on a room in your hospital, where you have people like your grandma coming in to get a cut that she had repaired, somebody needing blood pressure medicine. Would you store munitions there? And I'm telling you guys, we got technology now. They can see that this is Lubriderm, and that this is a flashlight. They can see that from a satellite outside my window right now that I'm pointing at, and they can take pictures and they can hear what I'm saying because I am doing all of this through YouTube. I know that I am being watched at times when I do these shows. I can see how many people come on there on all get on the chat and want to talk, and I can always tell that there's somebody watching me. And sometimes when I do a use, and I love the person, I'm not going to say that's the enemy. I have no enemies, but my mind. Let me get back to ambiguous humanity. My friends that were talking to me over the phone, they said that because of my orientation, one of them said that they had a conversation with my wife prior to her dying, of course. And he told me that my wife told him that she knew that I was gay. Well, of course she did. I told her that before I married her. Lucy knew that I was gay, but there's something else that Lucy knew. Listen, because see, you won't listen. See, but there's something else that Lucy knew. Lucy knew that I would follow God more than I'd follow anything. Lucy knew that I'd never have an affair with anybody in church. Lucy knew that I would go celibate all of my life since I had that cloth on, because that's the way I made my money. And that was the way I believe God wanted people to live a moral, decent life. You live longer. Well, my God, that's why I look the way I look at 79. They tell me I got to show off again because, see, y'all don't believe it. Y'all don't believe it. Let me stand up here and show you this old man's uh so-called decrepit body here. See, I'm not playing. This is me. There's no fat. You're not gonna see no fat on me hanging all on me. You're not gonna do that. Now, when I walk like this, I'm kind of dizzy. That's why I hold this, because I'm 79, and usually I put it here. And when I'm in company, I kind of lean like this because I'm dizzy right now as I spoke to you, as I'm speaking with you. Now, why am I dizzy? I'm dizzy because I take two kinds of medication, one for my blood pressure and another one for my cholesterol. And I take multivitamins that older men should take. But I am looking, a lot of people say, John, you look 50. You don't look like it's because that the religion that I was in taught me don't drink any alcohol. Wait a minute. I just got this wine bottle out of my office refrigerator. I sure did. Is there alcohol in here? There sure is. I drink alcohol. See? Now, some of my church members will say, but you taught us not to drink, because Proverbs, 20 and 1. I remember the verse. It says, wine is a mocker, and strong drink is a rage, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Now, that verse didn't tell you that you shouldn't drink wine. That verse tells you that if you do not temper the amount of wine that you drink, it'll make a mockery out of you and bring you into a situation where you will find your ass mocked. And if you do the strong drink, that means like the Hennessy, the cognac, all the tequila, and all that stuff, it'll put you into a rage. I know that to be true. And he said in the latter part of that verse, verse 1, whosoever is deceived thereby. Now, it doesn't mean about being deceived about drinking the alcohol. If you're deceived thereby what the spirits in that alcohol does to you, that person is not wise. I was wise all those years that I was married to my wife that knew that I was gay. I was wise not to tell the church that I was gay collectively, because it would have destroyed the faith based identity of the individuals that God had given me the charge to present the blessed word to him. If I were Muslim, I would have done the same thing if I had the Quran, because all of God's creation is in question here. That's why I'm talking about the ambiguity of what I'm seeing on my computer and TV screens. I'm seeing some nonsense take place in front of me, and I'm looking at the civilized world acting as if they don't know what to do. Spineless people don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. Why do you have a United Nations? Where are all of these rich people flying all over the world, meeting and conferring with other people? I tell you what you're doing. You're pressing the system. They're pressing the system. That's what they're doing. Now, these younger people that's on YouTube and all these other social networks, they can talk about it. And they can talk about it very well because they're a part of the mix. See, I'm at the tail end of my life. I'm at the tail end of it. And the tail end of a man's life is supposed to be enjoying himself, enjoying what's around him, enjoying maybe going to another country and enjoying meeting other people my age or the young people and seeing what dreams and visions they have as they can go forward. No, we can't do it because I'm looking at my country and it's full of ambiguity. From the leadership of our government, it's full of ambiguity. You know what wrong is. Call wrong wrong. It matters not what party you're affiliated with because we're humans. We're not Democrat or Republican. We're human beings. Is there a human right abuse? Oh, I can't say it. Why? I can't say it because they're going to fire me. They're going to fire me if I tell them the truth. What do you mean? What kind of people are you working for? Are you working for people that really doesn't know how to balance their own lives? What do they go to the supermarket for? What do they pull up in the gas station for? Do they expect a little black man to come out and pump their gas for them? All right, to go shopping for them? Oh no, we don't live in a world like that. But you know what we have to do? We have to get into the habit of getting out of the nature of being ambiguous. All right? We're ambiguous. You don't have to be ambiguous when you tell the truth. When you tell the truth, that's not ambiguity. Let's tell the truth. That conflict, oh my God. Yeah. See, this news station is showing me things. I'm not going to mention it because you have to find it on your own. But this news station just showed that man, they had a terrible shooting in Germany over there. This lets me know what's happening all over the world, not just over here. Because what you get over here, you young people, listen to me. You young people have been born and reared on fun, happiness, games, good times. Everybody want to celebrate their damn birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Some people are not blessed enough. I thought about it this morning. I was thinking about human ambiguity. Some people are not blessed enough. I said, John, look how long you live. On February the 8th, if you continue to eat and breathe and exercise and live, you will be 80 years old. That means you will be 20, 40, 60, 80. You'll be 24 times over. Now, you think about you living from what age? I mean, from a baby up until you were 20 years old. I lived four of those, four lifetimes of a 20-year-old. And when I think of, I saw on the news today, it said a soldier died on the other side of the world, and it said he was only 20 years old. And I remembered when I was 20 years old. That was before I got drafted to go into the Army at 21. I recall me at 20 and I'll be 80 and the soldier's dead at 20. And I said, oh my God, he hasn't lived. He hasn't lived. You guys don't know what I've seen. That's why I said respect your senior citizens. Help us live longer. We're part of your tribe that can help you. You know, I look at these YouTube pages and everything, and everybody got their little shows. You know, these folk ought to invite me on this show. You ought to invite a cat like me on this show, and I'll try to come on. I don't even know how to do a 2-screen deal by having somebody on. But you know what? I'm not looking for ratings. I'm looking for people that do not live in a world of ambiguity. Be who you are. Some of my old friends don't like me because I revealed to them that I'm not going to live your life for you. Hatred is something that the wrong way you think has brought about in your life. And that's what's happening with this Israeli Hamas thing. Because it's not the Palestinian, it's the Israeli and Hamas. The Palestinian people have a right to their homeland. Just like I'm in my home, sir, and I have the deed on my deal. Just a second. Right, hey man, I'm glad you called. I'm right in the middle of a cast, so can you call me back in about an hour? All right, call me back in an hour, son. I love you. All right, bye-bye. All right, now, because I won't be here for more than that. I talk so much. And now, what is dynamic about this conversation that I'm having is that I have 4 times the wisdom more than that 20-year-old soldier that died. Okay, listen to me. All right, we're talking about decision making, right? Making the right kind of decision. I and LGBT, my family, listen to me. No, I'm not going to hold a meeting and give this lecture to you there. I talk from this platform. God has told me, do it from your home. When I move in your heart, then you speak through this. I don't have to have people come around me. I don't want the accolades that people get. Forget that. But I want to tell you, gay people, I don't even like the term gay. I'm different. I'm not strange. I'm not gay. I'm me. That was a male they called me just now. A male. I've held that man in my arms. What's the matter with you? Love that man. Now, is there something wrong with me? Ain't a damn thing wrong with me. If you don't like me loving that man, there's something wrong with you. You haven't loved enough. I had a pastor friend of mine. I met him when I was in grad school. And he told me, he said, John, I think you've left the faith and I think you're going to just become a crazy, mean person. Let me know. Okay, let me answer this. Yes. Okay. All right, because see, I'm getting messages in. And yes. Okay, wait a minute. Just let me answer this, you guys, because I got to answer this. Uh, 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 okay, let me answer this. Uh, uh, and then I gotta go and finish this cast. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Am I rude? It's all right. I'm in my office. I love you, man. I'll be here if you want to come by. All right. That's good. Yeah. Now let me get back to it. And I'm not sorry because when my phone rings, even though I'm doing my cast in my office, in my house, to my friends, I can do what I want to do. I don't follow anybody else's protocol. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm not going to say like my friend Vicky, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I don't care if you give me a thumb down. It doesn't matter because that. And you want to know what? The person is not listening to me. He just gave me a okay like that. I love it because see, young people are tied into their phones and all these things, and so I want to tell you guys something. I see all this stuff that is taking place in my world, and it's full of ambiguity, and it doesn't confuse me. What it does is it forces me to speak. I have not been wanting to say anything to anybody about this whole situation. Uh, I and then when I try to talk to people, they all tell me, "Man, I can't talk about it because I may lose my job, I may lose my place." Because we understand that Jewish Americans owned a lot of these companies that do this kind of media thing, and God bless you that uh, God finance you. You know what? Let me say this too. I've never said this on any of my webcasts. I don't even wait. What? I'm not embarrassed to say it. I don't even make $30,000 a year. I just, uh, I don't even make $20,000 a year. I have, I don't have $20,000 income coming into me a year, and I'm almost 80 years old. Number one, I don't need all that money. And when a young man calls me and he's in need, guess what I'm going to do? I'm gonna cash app him some cash. You know, I get a lot of calls. I tell you, I get a lot of calls. And person say, "Hey, PJ, can you help me out, man? Things are rough." I said, "Is it good rough or bad rough?" "Man, man, I need to be out of this place." Okay. Now I got a lot of my friends, LGBT friends too, and it's selfish as hell. They said, "Man, I wouldn't give them nothing. I wouldn't give them nothing. Make them get up and do this. Make them do that." Now, you can't make a grown man do a damn thing he don't want to do unless you do like some of these governments do, get them and torture them. But a true man, if he don't want to see, can they make me do something I don't want to do? I would have to say, kill me, man. Kill me because I'm not doing that. You know, they say, I want you to kill this brother. No, no. Life is the most precious gift that God has ever given every human being. Life is a precious gift. I was talking with those two men yesterday, and they were relishing in the fact that they both studied in the classroom with me. And they said, "John, didn't nobody teach us better than you? You were the teacher extraordinaire." You know why? Because I poured my life into the teaching, poured my life into the student. Now, I gave you enough to live a decent life, like I'm living it, do it. I quit. They told me a few things, and I told them a few things. I won't go into all of that. But it was a good time talking with them. Boy, I'm glad I could stand up and take this time and do that. But I just wanted to show you I am fit for the fight. And you know why I'm like that? Because God told me. God told me when he called me to teach. He said, "Take care of yourself." Really, to my mind and spirit. He spoke to me. Take care of yourself. Don't eat all that food that these church people are going to try to feed you. You know, oh, Pastor, I made this for you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I accepted it wholeheartedly. I live in America. This may be a sin to you. I brought it home. Lucy and the girl said, I don't want that. And I just smelt it and took one bite of it and threw the rest of it out. I ate my wife's cooking. I didn't eat the church people's food. Now, if it were a brownie or a sweet potato pie, yeah. But like their casserole, no. Because they eat towards their palate and what they want to taste. Don't assume that because I'm your pastor that I want to eat what you eat. There's one woman could not cook if it were to save her. She couldn't cook a decent bowl of anything for me. Just couldn't stand it. That's the way I am. I refuse a few food, but I did not refuse her. You see what I mean? My religion taught me how to weigh the Bible. These men were telling me, since you came out gay, we don't we don't like you in the way that we did. And my particular question is, what does it matter what my sexual preferences are? And both of these men were rather, if you get my drift, out there in the streets. I didn't give you their names. You don't know who they are. They know who they are. And one of them in particular came to me for counseling about that because he was about to lose control of everything. And and very attractive too. Very attractive. I've always, as a gay man, uh, I pride myself in telling men that they should, you know, keep themselves looking nice. You know, I mean, you wouldn't even spend 10 minutes listening to me if I were looking like, whatever. But the ambiguity, the ambiguity of people and what people believe is really a terrible situation because I I just don't believe that most people are thinking freely. They have not engaged themselves in thinking freely about their lives, totally freely about their lives. They let other people think for them. Well, John, the Bible says this. All right, let's go back to that book again. The Bible says, thou shalt not steal. All right. And I'm dealing with a young man now that admit his thievery, and he just called me to rectify the thing that he did. So you think PJ's not working as a pastor still? You think PJ's just sitting over here belly aching because he's 79 and had a couple of surgeries and everything, and his heart is going to be messed up until he dies. He knows that. I feel it. I can't get too excited about things, people, because I'm an old man. I tell the young men around me, please don't push me around, stuff like that, because I'm fragile now. I'm fragile. But don't tell me what not to say because you're intellectually fragile. I'm not intellectually fragile. I am physically fragile because I'm 79 going on 80. But with the wisdom that I have, I think that any young man and young woman should chill, put themselves on pause, Because if an elder wants to speak with you about reality, you need to listen. Now, there are many elders in our tribe speaking. You have to go to the one that has the wisdom for you. If you're a soldier, you go to Farrakhan because he'll give you some communication, show you how to man the hell up. If it's love, you come to me. I'll show you I love you. I know one man is staying close to me, very close to me, because his parents does not know how to love him right. Just don't know how to love him. And you know how I love him? Encourage him to be creative and fruitful and to do his life and not let in any particular way any person, any religion, any dogma, any code, or anything like that outside of what makes him a progressive, intelligent, successful human being that he is to live his life. See, I'm passionate about it. It even makes me cough. No, that wasn't the devil trying to choke me because I'm lying. I'm having a dizzy spell. And I have those things. Almost the whole thing. See, Delia? No, my daughter tells me, Daddy, you got to hydrate. That's the first water I've had all afternoon. Because when I talk and I start coughing, and when I did broadcast media, I never cough like that. I don't say God healed me. I don't say God healed me. I'm 78 years old. I don't say, God, what's happening to me? I'm thinking, I'm an intellectual. I know that physically my spirit is living in this body and the body is wearing out. I'm not going to live by the codes and the conducts when I was a young Christian man living in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Those were the those were the 30 years, the main 30 years of my adult male life. All the events that took place in this country, all the major, I was alive. I experienced them. Now I'm looking at it, and my God, human ambiguity. We are out of our mind. We don't know. We really don't know how to stop that conflict over there. Really? You really expect me to believe that? Really? Hey, listen. I want to thank Mark for coming on. I guess he had to go back to work. I love you, brother. Let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments later on. I'm just letting you know what PJ is feeling today as he looks at human ambiguity. Uh, this news station just said that Biden says that he discussed the need for Israel's forces to be careful during the raid, but he will not tell the people who his sources are about the Shifa hospital. If you don't know what I'm talking about, turn on the right news station, okay? I love you.